happening, y'all? That is a hornpipe, a tune called the Peacock's Feather, and I realized that I haven't done a whole lot of hornpipes on this channel, and I've had a couple of folks asking about them, and it turns out I'm in a Ceilidh band now, and we're going to be doing that one hopefully soon in competition, so more on that to follow, but in the meantime, let's break down the old basic melody here. This is a tune that shows up on a lot of lists of beginner Irish hornpipes, tunes to start out on, but when I Googled the sheet music to pull that, I noticed that it comes in a lot of keys, so there's a lot of different ways to play this tune. The way I learned it was from a friend of mine, Bill Verdeer, fiddle player, who I believe got it from the Ceilidh band, an old recording of theirs, and they play it in A minor, or at least that's where we got it. We ended up playing it in A minor, so that's the version that I know, and that's what we're going to break down here. So, D whistle. Tunes in A minor fit just fine on here. Let's dive in. Starting with the A part like we always do. Now it does have a quick pickup, two-note pickup, so keep that in mind if you're following along on sheet music and such, but here we go. First half of the A part. Note that with hornpipes you got that sort of cut rhythm. D, 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 you know, where it's not just up, 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 up. They're all the same. There's a bit of a separation there. So keep that in mind when you're listening to this tune, and hopefully you get that groove locked in. So let's carry on with the second half. It does have the pickup as well, and we're starting on the low E from the end of the first half and jumping to that second octave. So keep that in mind. Here we go. Hopefully that second half should sound fairly familiar to the first half. It's really just that last bar, the way the tune resolves, that's different. Otherwise, it's basically the same. The B part jumps way up in the second octave, so be aware of your hearing and that of those around you. But here we go, basic melody, first half. Once again, a little bit of copy and paste. The end of that phrase should be fairly similar. It's the end how the middle phrase of the A part ends. So it's just that top bit that's different. Second half, again, same kind of deal. The nice thing with this is it's a complete repetition. We don't have to do anything new. We're just using the second half of the A part. So again, for a refresher, so it's just reusing that same bit, which is kind of cool. It's not as much to learn. So let's run once through the whole tune, A part, B part, just to see how it all fits here, nice and slow. Hopefully you got through that okay. Keep in mind that when you're playing this tune at, say, a session, you do A, A, B, B. So you play the whole A part a second time, B part a second time, keeping in mind that really the second half of the B part is the same as the second half of the A part. So a lot of repetition in this tune. When I play hornpipes, my main goal is to try not to get in the way of that classic cut rhythm. So I'm trying to keep it fairly sparse, fairly simple, cuts and taps and things to separate and give a little bit of punch when needed. The occasional triplet works well, but from the top here, here's how I would kind of take a run at it. A couple of slides there. You could start with that in the beginning, just why not? It sounds cool. could slide through that whole phrase, really could slide both of those notes. I might not do that every time, but maybe once I have like the slidey time through the tune. You know, maybe hit a few of them in a row. So, anyway. Tapping that G finger there on the A. Slides there as well, a lot of spots for slides. And then sliding that second octave is really helpful because it can be kind of confidence-inducing. It's easy to break those notes going from the E to the second octave A, but if you slide into it from the note below, from the G, it makes it a little bit more stable. Nothing else there really except when I bounce off that low note, because it's such an unusual change, an unusual phrase, I guess, in this tune. I liked it, and I like to accent it a little bit. So I'm just sort of bouncing off that bottom note. Again, back to slides to kind of turn that phrase around, because we do have to figure out how to get from the bottom octave E to the second octave. Sorry, first octave G to the second octave E. So you got to cover a bit of ground. Slide really helps, just kind of transition that a little bit, I think. It makes a nice simple thing. Now, you could do a triplet there. That's one of the spots that I like to throw it in because I've got that rhythmic triplet. That's sort of unique to the flute and the whistle. So it's one, especially at the end of the phrase where we know we're going to the B part, or because this is the repetitive phrase, the turnaround from the end of the B part back to the A part is a nice way to signify that we're doing something a little bit different. So when we jump up to the B part, you've got that whole second octave problem, and you want to make sure that you're confident in your whistle and that you're going to hit those notes nice and cleanly. Ornaments can either help or hurt, depending on how you're approaching it. So sliding in there helps, makes it nice and clean. I usually will do rolls because I have whistles that I have a lot of confidence in, like this one in particular. Works really great in that upper octave. I never have to worry about it. Don't feel like you have to. Slides are perfectly acceptable. Taps are usually fairly safe as well. Nice way to separate. If your whistle is feeling it, rolls do work pretty well there. So keep that in mind as a couple of options. Then we really get the end of the phrase. I think that's about all there is. Yeah, same as the first part, and then we turn around back to the beginning of the A part. It all kind of repeats at that point. So not a whole lot to this tune. Hopefully you're able to take it and apply it to a set of hornpipes you might be working on. It's an interesting one because it is minor, and if you have a set of major tunes, it's a good sandwichy middle bit tune. I think that might work pretty well. There is a deep dive version of this video as well on my Patreon, sheet music, tabs, all that stuff if you want to get into that. We also have a giveaway to do. In fact, this whistle right here needs to be shipped out. So magic of editing, here is our winner that I picked this morning, I guess, whenever that was, before this video gets posted. I'm going to be in contact here through the comments and whatever I can find. I'll reach out, trade address information, I'll get this en route. Congratulations, and I will see y'all on the next one, guys. Cheers.